Now, this was the same truck that you had at SEMA that was dubbed the Ghost.
Correct.
Right?
For the main reason of what we called it the Ghost is because it was not an actual vehicle that was registered, right? It wasn't anything that was sold to anybody. It wasn't any of those things.
Welcome to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Nine days, 2,300 miles, and no GPS, this is the Great Race. We'll meet the families and the first-time drivers who keep these classics alive, from Kentucky back roads to the capital of West Virginia. Then we head into the shop at Southfield Classics to see how craftsmanship turns old metal into modern perfection. And finally, we revisit a Madavi Motorsports legend for maintenance and memories with a turbocharged Honda S2000 that's still running strong.
We have 135 plus cars in the Great Race.
Checkpoints along the way that they don't know in advance, and so the goal is you're going to stay on target.
From start to finish, it's like family to me.
So keeping it maintained, keeping it running hard, it's a complete family member. It's an experience.
All the workers, all the towns that have been welcoming us.
Winning an ace in the Great Race is just, it's one of the things that just lifts you up.
Were we on time and everybody else was wrong? Were they on time and we were wrong? I guess we'll find out tonight.
Hey guys, this right here is our SFI certified flex plates. We also have in an Outlaw series, which is an outright racing, but we've got the hardened ring gear that's on here. Also, we've got stamped and embossed. We've also got them marked up right here, so they're stamped in there. Hook up with a Boss Hog torque converter, and don't forget to get your flex plate so that you can have it all matching gear.
Here we are in Lexington, Kentucky. We're on our way to Ashland, Kentucky, and then we're going to be ending up in Charleston, West Virginia tonight. And how cool is this? This guy right here is 15 years old. He is driving this car on the Great Race with his permit. Very good job. I'm so proud of you. Good luck and be safe out there. So here we are, like I said, we're at the Marriott in Lexington. We're going to be going to Ashland today.
My dad always wanted to do it. Back when they very first started it years ago, Dad always talked about it. And Dad passed away quite a few years ago, and this opportunity came up, and I asked my brothers to join me. So there's a group of 6. My brother Joe and I are in the car, and my other 4 brothers is our support group.
Most of these really old cars require constant maintenance the entire way through. The car's magic. It's really fun. It'll do 60 or 70 miles an hour if you get turned around and have to, but other than that, it's really a great car. We really enjoy it, and we love the Great Race. It's an awesome event. I'm also known as the official auctioneer of Great Race, which is generous. I like doing some charity auctioneering. We raised $42,000 for the RPM Foundation, which is also our X Cup. It requires about 50 grand to put the teams together and to run them. So between that and some other donations, I think we've sealed it already that the 5 or 6 X Cup teams will be able to participate next year, which is basically scholarships for young people to run cars in this. And it's a phenomenal networking event for these kids. There are people that are titans of the industry of automotive type jobs, restoration type jobs. And for these kids to spend that amount of time talking about things technically, using their skills they're picking up along the way, learning how to drive, learning how to navigate, it really lines them up for lots of great things in their careers. So we're really proud of that.
All right, so one thing the Great Race is filled with is great people, like the Slattery brothers. What a story.
I knew Dad before he passed away. Saw an ad for the Great Race in Hemmings Motor News. He used to have stacks of them all over the house.
Saved every month of the Hemmings Motor News.
And so that ad was in there, and it was just something that he always wanted to do.
Yep.
Well, he didn't make it long enough to do it, and so we decided, Mike and I, 2 years ago, we went to Great Bend, Kansas, and they were coming through, and we went down and met him, and I was like, Mike, I want to do this. I want to do this. Well, it takes a little while if you want to get on the great race. You got to be patient. Took us 2 years, but
we talked to a few people that were there at the Great Race in Great Bend. Got to talk to drivers, navigators, support crews there, and we thought, oh, we need a support crew. So then we kind of kicked around the idea. It'd be really cool if the 6 of us brothers, we have a sister, Deb. We did decide, okay, we want to try to get all 6 of us boys to go. JGS, that stands for John Gerald Slattery, and JBS, John Byron, sorry, which is our brother. So kind of got both those guys
to ride along.
Ride along.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. We're in Charleston, West Virginia, where endurance meets emotion. From blistering heat to flawless teamwork, Magic Dave and his crew show what 2 decades on the Great Race really looks like. The Great Race is brought to you by Rod End Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them.
We are in Charleston. This is the ending on Thursday, which is the 6th day, I think. I'm not sure because everything's running together. Like I said, guys, this is an endurance race. It's an endurance race for the cars, but really for the people, the staff, the heat.
It's been really impressive this year, but we're here in the capital of West Virginia, and it's really beautiful. There's a great turnout. It's hot, but everyone has a great attitude about it.
We still finished the leg. We did not get a DNF. I almost threw in the towel around lunchtime, but I didn't because Doug would have killed me. We made the day. We stopped in Ashland for lunch. It was great. Now here we're in Charleston, beautiful city. I've driven by this city so many times going to and from racing venues, and it's so cool to actually visit this place. Like, people are great. They've got a band for us. They got music everywhere, and this is what it's about right here, guys. Look at the way they welcome the Great Race participants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're right on the water, and there's tons of boats down there. It's a really good time.
How did I get involved in the Great Race? Well, I was having breakfast and the phone rang, and I had been in the Great Race. My next door neighbors looked down on me from their porch above me at my house and said, "Hey, David, what do you think about the Great Race?" So I went and had dinner with them, and we talked about putting them in the Great Race with an antique car. And so they had me restore a car for them to do the Great Race, and that was 22 years ago. So this is my 22nd year of doing the Great Race. So I got the nickname Magic Dave because all of my life, everywhere I go, things start working. Because whether it's the shower head in the shower that's spraying all over the place, or a toilet not flushing, or a radio not working right, or a car, I just can't help myself but make it work perfect. It's just the sense of accomplishment that I get the biggest kick out of. So Magic Dave became something that people started calling me.
This year, my dad was unable to make it with us, so I brought my lovely bride, Dana, with me. She's been in the car a few times, and she's working really hard to get some great scores, and she just puts together an awesome job driving the 1916 Hudson.
So I was happy to step in for Howard. We're really sad that he's not here, but when they asked me a week before the race to jump in as a driver, okay, let's go.
And we even got her name on the car before we took off that she was super excited about seeing on the side of the car. So Howard's name's not on there, but Dana's is.
I don't think it really differs at all. We've been married over 20 years, and so we've been working hard on our communication for that 20 years. I think a big thing that Doug and I have really tried to work on the last couple years is really telling each other, like, oh, I appreciate that you do that, or hey, thanks for doing that. And so Doug's been super positive on the race. So
she was very positive today. I knew we could get a good score, so I just kept saying, okay, we're gonna make this work today. Just trust yourself. Just drive the car. You know how to drive the car. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah. So I don't think communication is really any different than when we're at home. Yeah.
No,
Doug gives a lot of really great praise, so it's always nice to hear.
If you guys are in the business of making power, you have an LS engine, you want some cylinder heads with some CNC machine porting, Gwatney Performance Innovation, they do an awesome job. As you can see here, they've completely decked these heads, glass beaded them, made them look brand new, redid the guys for me, hand lapped the valves. We got a 3-angle valve job. They'll do up to a 5-angle valve job, which this actually looks like a 5-angle valve job. Very nicely done. They surface all the surfaces, meaning the intake gasket mounting points, the exhaust gasket, and they deburr the whole cylinder head so that when you're handling it, you're not going to cut yourself. They're in Arkansas. They've been doing it for a long time. If you guys just want regular work done, they'll do a rebuild for you. If you want stages of performance done, they'll do that as well. As you can see here, I've got it CNC ported all the way through the exhaust port and all the way through the intake port, all the way down to where the bowls live, where the valve seats. They've done multiple heads for me, and I've had nothing but good luck out of them. All I got to do is put my springs, retainers, and keepers in it, put the valves back in, and I got me a new set of Gwatney Performance Innovation cylinder heads to go on my LS3.
Welcome back to more Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. At Southfield Classics, it's the details that make the difference. Noah walks us through how welded seams, reinforced hinges, and craftsmanship transform a vintage truck into a brand new experience.
We're back here at Southfield Classics with Noah, and we're going to be talking about this Chevy truck and everything that they do that you normally wouldn't see that makes these things so valuable.
Simple things. We didn't want to take away anything from the truck, obviously. There's a couple things that we wanted to get rid of that kind of made it more like more of a conversion that we didn't want to portray for some of our trucks. We made sure that most of all of our seams are welded together, so we're not using a whole lot of seam sealer.
But not only that, they go in and they take care of structural issues that you normally would not know about. Like for instance, the door is sagging. So before the doors go on and as they're assembling the cab, you completely reinforce the hinges.
Correct. We do. We add a piece of round tubing in there that kind of enforces that, because we do have a crossbar that holds a lot of our stuff that we put inside, underneath the dash.
They also go in there and make a custom striker so that the door closes and stays closed. A lot of these trucks, if you don't do that right, the door will actually open on you as you make a turn. So you've got a real striker in place.
Correct.
And what it does when they do the welding of all the jams and they take away the spot welds, you're actually taking the two panels that are not married together and marrying it all together as one piece. So when you're going down the road, that truck feels like a brand new car. It's tight. Correct. You go over bumps. You don't hear the rattles that you normally would. No matter how well you build a classic car, you're not going to feel that new tight feeling of a new car.
Correct.
And you're going to do that. That's what you guys did here at Southfield.
Right. And you would say to a point that we are probably a little bit more than one of those other ones. And it's mainly because all of our seams in a lot of different places are stitch welded all the way across. We didn't put spaces. It's all the way through, and it's all really for the fit and finish, for the paint and everything else to lay up on there easy. So you have easy transitions, like I said, with none of that seam sealer that where you usually would put it, right? We kind of just try to weld it all in, and that's basically what we use for seam sealer or Bondo, in essence, right? We clean it up enough to where it's really just minimal work to it.
You know what? These vehicles are not cheap. They're expensive, and this shows why they're expensive. You guys go through and really do all the little things that make it a brand new vehicle that's nice and tight, that's luxurious. You open the door, you can keep the doors open at a car show, and everything is so nicely finished like a brand new car.
Right.
That's where the value comes in, and that's what it's really all about. Very important, especially that striker. I really love that because my doors have opened on my truck going down the road, and you have to really slam them to get it to actually close.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. Now I see that you have the 51 Suburban getting ready for paint.
Yes.
So you've completely taken it apart, and what are you doing now?
So with the Suburban, which is our other project that we do, that's part of what we call, I guess, what we typically call in the shop our patina vehicles. It's because it's still a Chevy product, and we're finishing it off with the electric components. And what we have planned for it is to make it look like a conversion, right? It's intentional to look that way. So maybe we can display the differences between what a conversion would look like and obviously what our trucks look like, right? So we didn't want to take too much away from anything that we build. We try to just add little subtle things that can create, value to it instead of drawing such a big, very heavily fabricated vehicle, we still wanted to keep a lot of what it actually is and, intact.
So you guys, you can check them out at southfieldclassics.com. Next week, we're going to be talking education, so you don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. A turbocharged S2000's 3 inches deep and still running strong. We're changing the oil, checking safety, and revisiting the car that helped define Madavi Motorsports' legacy.
We have an old school client of ours. You may have seen him on the Low Car Show about 5 years ago when we covered this awesome S2000 that Madavi Motorsports built in 2011. The guy behind the camera actually built this car 3 times because you had to have 3 engines. Yes. And not because of anything that Honda did, it's just bad luck, really, in this case. It was just dumb luck in sequence. But this car is awesome. We built this as a 2200, meaning a 2.2 second gen S2000, revs to 8,000 RPM. We did a turbocharger on this. This was the 5th car that Madavi Motorsports turbocharged as far as an S2000 goes. And you've had it for this long now, and we've done a lot of other upgrades to it as well, right?
Yep.
Very cool, Raymond. So this engine has an aluminum pan that's glued on, and to remove it is a real bear. So instead of making a hole through the old pan, I used a couple of fittings from Summit Racing to where it doubles as a drain plug, but also you can put a -8 on it or a -6. So when I do an oil change, I first remove the drain line from the -8 for the turbo and let it drain out. Then I go ahead and remove this also because there's this higher step, and all the oil will not come out unless you remove this because that is the drain line. So now that all the oil is out of it, I can go ahead and put this fitting back in. We're going to take our Wix oil filter, go ahead and put that guy on. You just want to hand tighten the filters. Now while you're up under here, you want to make sure to do a full inspection. You want to inspect the wheels, making sure there's nothing got bent. These are forged wheels, so they can handle a big hit. And the last time this thing hit my lift, I put the wheels and tires on it. That was like 2014. So we're walking back here and we see the tires. And look at that. At least his alignment's good, nice and flat. Luckily he didn't drive it in the rain, but he's gonna need 2 new tires. And because they are over 10 years old, even though there is good tread on the front, we might as well go ahead and replace the front just to keep them safe. Take a look at the brake pads. You can see the inner brake pads from here. You can see the outer brake pads from the outside. Nice special diffuser. I see you've hit a couple things here. Not a problem, Raymond. At least you drive your car. Take a look for any leaking. And because it's a Honda, there is no leaking. All right, so maintenance does cost a little bit of money, but in the long run, it saves you money. It's very important that you do maintenance, especially when you have a high performance car like this where you've invested so much of your own money into. For instance, that coolant, you forget, this thing's got 50,000 miles on it, but it's also 10 years old, and if you neglect coolant, being an aluminum engine, it'll create electrolysis and start eating away at the inside of the block. So you want to stay on top of your coolant, change out the serpentine belt because it's not about mileage, it's also about age. You don't want it to break on you. Really, everything on this car is perfectly fine. You guys, like I said, it's very important that you do maintenance. If you do maintenance, stay on top of your car, you'll see things that you'd like to see before they become a disaster, like spinning out because you have no tread on the rear tires. So it's important, do the maintenance, keep your investment going for a long time, and enjoy your ride. I want to thank Raymond for coming in today and doing the oil change on his car. Anytime I can palm that off to the customer or the owner of the car, we're good to go there. So thank you for that. Good job on doing it. We found some issues that we're going to address in a couple weeks. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but not too much. And it's cool for you to keep our children alive like this because every car that we built at Madavi Motorsports was a piece of us.
Yes.
You know, so to see this 14 years later, looking the same exact way as it did when we gave it to you, says a lot. So thanks for respecting it.
Yeah, because it's our car.
Yep, it is. Just like the tag says.
Be sure to check out Sam's Garage on these other media platforms. Send us questions and feedback to info@samsgaragetv.com. From the heat of the great race to precision builds and timeless Hondas, we've seen how passion keeps every project alive. Join us next time on Sam's Garage, where every car has a story and every mile has meaning.